Hi, and welcome to the College Prep Biology meet and greet. My name is Maria Cardona, and I will be one of the two instructors that teaches this course this year at Berkeley. This is my second year at Berkeley, and in addition to teaching College Prep Biology, I also teach AP Environmental Science. My background is that prior to being a teacher at Berkeley and prior to getting into teaching, I actually worked as an engineer. I have a chemical engineering degree from University of South Florida, and I worked for 9 years in industry in the research and development area. And I can bring a lot of real world experiences about what it's like to work in the engineering and science industry. Through the food science, I did a lot of work and worked across different companies in the international arena. So it was a great experience. I also have a patent. And about 10 years ago, I decided to make a career change, and I've been teaching ever since. And I went back and got a master's in secondary science education. I have a son who is a freshman at Berkeley and a daughter who's a sophomore. My son is Alexander, so he might be a kid that you see with your students. If you have freshmen and if you have sophomores, my daughter Angelina is a sophomore. This is my husband Herman, and these are our two dogs. For this class, my main goal is to get the kids ready for the more challenging courses of science by developing through biology critical thinking skills and problem solving while we're also having a lot of fun with biology. Sometimes students have a different experience of science in middle or elementary school where they don't really understand science, or they really might have not enjoyed it. This is a very heavy lab-based class. We connect everything to real world applications because it's biology. That means is their entire lives. Everything from what they eat and how that works in their system to all their own genetic makeup to organisms or pets that they have. So the course is divided into two main sections. The first part, which is the first semester, is the molecular level biology, where we study chemistry, the cells, and all the processes that are involved in cellular processes. So we look at metabolism, and we look at diffusion and osmosis, and so how energy gets transferred. And then we look at genetics and all of the, you know, things that are related to how genes are passed down from off parent to offspring. The second part of the course is actually the taxonomy of biology. So we look at the different organisms and the evolutionary process in which organisms developed from millions of years ago to today. And that part of the curriculum will have a lot of dissections where the students will actually get to open animals and other organisms and look at how they were made, how organs developed, and the different processes of the different phylogenetic breakdown of of organisms and how they were made. The way that I teach this course is I try to make a lot of connections to other topics, to other subjects. So, you know, many times students at a freshman level believe that science it's its own nucleus. And in reality, we started the year by teaching them that the science approach to looking at life can be used for any scenario. We looked at a police station and how science can be used to determine data that they collected. We talked about astrology and We talked about myths and how we can use the science approach to determine if something is scientifically sound. So we will get into biology content. We're getting into biology content next, but it is important for students to start thinking like scientists. And that requires the integration of math and English as well. So we're going to be combining a lot of readings of sources like National Geographic that explain things for children in a way that children can understand the information, but it's written in a very matter of fact, database, scientific format. We are going to be, all the homework is posted on my Berkeley, and they're going to be having homework almost daily. Some sort of, they should be looking at the information every day in some sort of form. Having one of the ways, many times parents ask, what is a way that I can help my child? One of the ways that you can help your child is by asking them what they discussed in science and engage in the conversation. Because if they can explain the information to you of what we learned, if they can draw the processes and show you pictures and explain to you the information, then we know that they're getting a good understanding of the information. This, yeah, the kids. So freshmen, it's interesting because I teach my AP Environmental Science or seniors, so I know where the kids need to be by the time they're in their senior year. So what we want to emphasize as freshmen is that they own their own progress in their education. It is their responsibility to put the effort to talk to the teacher and say, I don't understand this, to advocate for themselves, before a test or a major assessment. So communication between the kids and I is super important. I shared my email with them in my syllabus. I believe that it's on my website, but it's cardomar@berkeleyprep.org. Please encourage your kids to contact me directly themselves. It is their task to do that. If you notice that your child is struggling, encourage them to do that. But it should really come from them. Any type of missed class, they're required to check with me to if we had a lab, they are going to have to make up that lab in some way. So make sure that as we progress through this year of unknowns with COVID, that we stay in communication. The kids and I stay in communications, encouraged by you of any activities or labs that they might have missed or anything else that you need help with. Usually, when I reach out to a student, I always copy the parent so that you're aware that I am reaching out to your child and we're having that conversation. But again, the expectation is that the child writes back. If you have any questions about anything related to biology or this year, feel free to contact me. And I look forward to meeting you guys this year.